Custom field mapping is very handy if you want to map custom fields between Salesforce and Xero. Let's take a look by clicking Set Custom Mapping Fields. The first section we have on this page allows us to select our default fields when we create an invoice. We can set a date, a due date, a custom invoice number, and a custom reference number, all based on fields within our opportunity. As an example, I might want my invoice date to show as the opportunity created date, and I might want the invoice due date to be set as the close date. I might also have a field on my opportunity for a customer purchase order number. As an example, we can make that our custom reference number. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to choose the opportunity ID instead. We can now take a look and see what this would look like when we created an invoice. As you can see, I have a new invoice that's being created where it's automatically pulled in the date, the due date, and the invoice reference number based on our custom fields. The second section is based on if you want to map any fields on your opportunity product to your invoice line. So for example, if you use custom quantity, unit price, discount, or total fields that are outside of the standard Salesforce fields, we can choose them from this list here. The third section is based around how we want the product name to show up on our invoice. If we select product name, you will see that our product name stays as golf balls white 3-pack. If we change the value, we can change it to use the product name with the line item description. So if you entered in a line item description into your opportunity product, we would pull in the product name plus the description of that line. For example, I've added a line description to the 3-pack of golf balls. And as we can see, as I go into the invoice, the line description has made up a part of the product name, which will then show on the invoice. Back in the configuration, we can also change the separator, which we can see on the invoice as well. If none of those options suit, you can then use the custom field section where you can select any field that exists on your opportunity line item. For example, you might have a formula field which is called customer facing product name, which you want to use to show on the invoice to the customer. We would then select custom field and we would select that field from this drop-down. These options allow full flexibility of how you want your invoices and products displayed to your customer. The final part of the field mapping page is the fields that we're using between our Salesforce accounts and contacts to then create a Xero contact. For example, if you had a custom billing address that you used in your Salesforce account, we could make sure that that always maps to the postal address within. This means that when you go and create a new contact in Xero using your Salesforce account details, all of these fields that you see under the new contact creation can be mapped to any of the fields underneath our Salesforce account. We can also use fields from within our Salesforce contact.